So from your time at Sogang, which has been about a year, almost a year, what has been? Is there anything that you're just kind of like, oh, this really sucks? Like, why did they do it like this? Like, I wish they would change the course in some way, like some way that the course sucks, I guess.
Well, I guess I'll call it criticism. One thing that
yeah, that's the word.
I guess I'll call it criticism. As you progress, they want to kind of put the test difficulty somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So it gets to a point where you're memorizing a lot of things, which, in my opinion, is okay for, like, say, vocabulary, things like that. Say for reading comprehension, a lot of the reading comprehension is straight from the book that you've read throughout the term. It's nothing new you haven't seen. So really, they're basically saying, well, if you've read the book and memorize the material, then you should ace the test, right? It's not that hard. For me, like, especially if you want to prepare for the topic exam, which is the government test for Korean proficiency, it's different, obviously. It's stuff that you may not have seen, grammar you may not have seen, vocabulary that you're not that familiar with. Like, I took the topic once and I did not do so well on it. For that test, maybe just me buying a book and preparing that way would be better than taking what I learned in class and trying to map it to the topic exam. I come from an engineering background, that's what I did in school, and I feel like it should be more application than strict memorization, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially at the upper levels where you're at the point where you studied for a year or more and you can take what you've learned and be able to abstract it to some other reading or situation. But I understand that they need to make a test that they can grade quickly, that they can't be too hard and it can't be too easy. You know, they don't want to fail everybody, but they don't want to make it too easy to pass either. So I kind of understand why they formatted the test like that.
Is there ever been a point where you're like, oh, I wish I went to a different language school? Why did I pick Sogang?
Just based on what I've heard from other people, going to say Ide, Yonsei, Kyunghee, Seoul National, whatever, I don't think I'd want to change programs, especially at this point, because I've already done 4 or 5 terms at Sogang. But I've actually heard Weide is really good, which is the Hanguk University of Foreign Studies. In Korean, it's shortened to Weide. Yeah, one of my friends said their program's quite good. But I've known people at 4 or 5 other different schools, and one person that transferred out of Sogang to Ide, and he's just like, he prefers Sogang actually. Not that the other programs are bad, it's just that they're different. I think once you find a groove you like, or a type of class you like, you're more prone to stick with it.
You did the Immersion Course first before you joined Sogang.
Right.
What was that like?
It was really fun. In terms of my adult life, it was probably one of the more fun summers I've had, just because I'd never stayed in Korea that long. I was here almost 6 weeks. The actual program is 5 weeks long, and in the morning you had language class, and they give you a placement test just like the program we're in now. And then in the afternoon you have culture class. And for people that haven't been to Korea before, or they haven't spent that much time in Korea, I think it's a really great way to experience a bunch of different Korean culture aspects in a very short time. Like, we did taekwondo, we did Korean cooking, we heard some lectures, we went on a couple field trips, and based on your level, like say lower level students will do one set of culture activities, and then the upper level students, they have a separate set. So like my friends that were in like level 4 at the time, they did completely different things, and we did in level 1 and 2. I think the class pace is more relaxed because it's a shorter time and you only cover part of a level. You don't have time to cover the whole.
Yeah, it's only 5 weeks, so. Did they expect you to do lots of homework after you finished?
After class, we did have homework, but actually the way they assess you, well, at least when I did it, I haven't done it for 2 years, but when I took the course, the way they assess you is more periodic quizzes and not like a big midterm and a final, because you only have 5 weeks. So
yeah.
I think we had like 5 quizzes or something like that. So you have less material you have to like cram into your brain.
Yeah, that's.
And I had no trouble with
smaller lumps of material to cram.
And all the teachers were really good. I'm friends with one of my teachers that I had back then now, so they were all really great. It's a really fun time. I recommend it. If you don't have 2-3 months to spend in Korea for a regular language term and you can spare a summer, then I highly recommend it. I made some good friends, and you meet a whole bunch of different people from all over the globe, just like in the regular program. So
for me, like when I was studying at Sogang, I didn't know what kind of classmates I would have, like what to expect in my classmates. And for the most part, it's been like Taiwanese, Japanese, Chinese students that have been really cool. But every now and again, you meet a really, really, really strange person, like the likes that you would never meet at home. Have there been any like really weird people that you've met in the language course?
I mean, there's been some people that you know, are unique. I'm gonna say weird. I mean, everyone's weird in their own way, you know. You'll meet people that are either maybe really outgoing or like so enamored with Korean culture and language that are really like Koreaphiles, like hardcore. But I've had people in my class that are, you know, married and their husband or wife is working here, so they're here, so they just want to get exposed to the language. I've met people that their end goal is to live here permanently, so like, yeah, they're really relying on learning Korean and doing well on the topic exam and such. Some people that are really quiet, they don't want to talk to anyone, maybe they have their own life outside of school, so they might seem really shy or give you the cold shoulder type of thing. You know, I don't have anything against anyone. We're all classmates, we're stuck together for almost 3 months, so best to try to be on good terms with everybody.
That's the thing, like, you spend so much time in close quarters with your classmates, even if you feel when you first meet them like, oh, we're not going to be that close because our personalities are too different. You spend so much time together that by the end of it you are like close and you are friends.
Yeah, and for me, like, you don't want to burn any bridges too quickly.
Because you might be in the same class again next semester.
Actually, one of my friends this term was had the same classmate for 3 terms in a row, which is really rare, actually. The most I've had is the same classmate for 2 terms in a row. You may see that person you really hate in the next term, and then you're stuck with them. You're all adults, you're all, you know, minimum age 18. It's not like kindergarten where the teacher can say, okay, you go in that corner, you go in that corner, and you don't talk to each other, whatever. You're stuck, you have to interact with them at one point or another. I try to just go in with open mind every term and say that people are different, and if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you type of thing. And if you don't like me for some reason, then we can be civil in class. We don't have to hang out after class. And then also with that, you end up having to speak Korean with a lot of people unless you meet other English, well, for us English speakers. For me, I have 2 or 3 good friends that I can only use Korean with because we don't share any common language besides Korean.
That's
so
cool.
And that as you progress through the levels, you do learn enough to where you can go hang out with these people who you only share Korean as a common language with. Obviously, we'll have some trouble if we want to talk about something more complex, but we can normally just work through it. I think that's one of the more amazing things about learning a language so quickly.
Yeah.
Being in the immersive environment.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're there yet.
Yeah, like I do have friends, but it's a lot of body language when words fail.
I think after level 3, you know enough pretty much after that to have more comfortable conversations. That's just my opinion.
Can you explain the differences from level 2 to level 5 and what you're learning, what you can do after you finish that semester?
Yeah, for me, after level 3,